Hello, how are you? My name is Ruth and you are very welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be an update to the Panda's eyeshadows and I have some good progress which I'm really happy with. Now, to be fair, I've really concentrated on these shadows this month or past month. I didn't really let my focus pull from them at all, so I think I'm kind of happy with the progress I've made, but I don't know if that'll be consistent because I will admit I got a bit bored by the end of it with the shades that I had. But I think having the palettes that I have are quite varying, the ones that I had, so there was different colour schemes in each, so it kind of helped because you were able to play around more with colour combinations and stuff like that, as opposed to maybe working them all together as one unit. Anyway, I'll start with the first palette. So this was the Gen Nude Floral Utopia palette from Bare Minerals. So this is what it is now looking like. I'll just block out. So the shade I had was this one here. There is a bit of use in it, but not an awful lot. I'll be honest with you, I'm decluttering this palette. I just didn't enjoy using it. I found it very hard to build up opacity, even though it swatches quite well on the eyes. It's quite hard to build it up, and when you blend, it just blends away to nothing. I also find, like, I have it actually on today and my eyes are watering and stinging a bit, so I feel like there's something in this that just doesn't suit my eye chemistry. Like, it's nearly like a burning on my lid. I don't know how to describe it. It's not like a hot burn, it's nearly like a cold burn, if that makes any sense to you at all. And I seem to have this problem a lot, and I don't know, and it doesn't seem to be talc and it doesn't seem to be carmine or mica. I really don't know. I don't know. I thought by changing from an eye primer to a more thick concealer was helping things. And it does seem to help with some shadows that I did have problems with before, but I'm just not enjoying this palette. The two colours that I absolutely love in it are this one here. It's like a lovely peachy goldy shade, which is just, I have to say, I do enjoy it. And this one then as well. So they're both kind of along the same vein. Hope you can see them. You know, it was the main reason I picked this palette up, because I thought I like purples and those colours really speak to you, especially kind of in the summertime or that. But because these colours speak to me, I have them in other palettes. So, you know what I mean? I don't need to be keeping on to this just for these two shades. I have similar shades to it. So I've made the decision. I'm sad because it's really pretty to look at. And anytime I look into my drawer, I think, oh, that's such a pretty palette, but there's no point keeping a palette just because it looks pretty. You know, that's just ridiculous. So that palette is going, so that means it's rolling out of this project. I did use it, I think it was like 12 times. I know my goal is 20, but I'm not enjoying it at all. And I've tried every which way to try and make it work, and it's just not working for me, so I'm letting it go. The next one is the, oh, I'm about to stick my finger in it. It is the Futurism, I don't know what number, it's from Kaleidos. It's the Shisema City one, that's what it is. And I had this shade here. So you can see there's quite a dip going in it. I have used it so far. I have used it so far 15 times. I still have 5 times to go, and that's fine. I'll use it. It's you know what I mean, it's a very easily used colour. Now, having said that, going forward when I'm rolling in shades, I won't be rolling in shades that conflict with my that palette, if you know what I mean, the Kat Von D Shade and Light. So any shade, because like that is very similar to it. This kind of shade, oh, I'm giving you a bit of a spoiler. That shade there is very similar, and it's pulling my focus. So going forward when I roll in shades, I want them to be, I'm making a conscious decision not to use shades that are similar to my Panda palette. But yeah, so it's nice. I don't, again, this isn't a palette now, it doesn't bother my eyes at all. One of the shades popped out from my Project 10 uses for my kind of pinky coloured shadows. It's okay, I don't love it. Now, I don't know, because I've seen some reviews and maybe this isn't one of the best of the Kaleidos palettes. So maybe I picked the wrong one. This is my first one that I've ever tried. But based off this palette, I don't think I'd purchase any more. So I'd love to know your thoughts. If you have this palette and you have others by the brand, have I picked the wrong one? Is it maybe not the best of the collection? If you'd let me know, I'd really appreciate it, because that'll kind of make me decide whether, no, leave it. If they're all kind of like this, then, you know, it is what it is. It's just not for me. And not every style or every makeup of eyeshadows, what is the word I'm looking for? Help me out here. I don't know, you know what I'm trying to say. Composition of eyeshadows, they say, you know what I mean, different companies have different formulas and stuff like that, and that works differently for everybody. But yeah, I'd be interested to know. So that's staying in, so it needs to find more uses and then it can roll out. Next up is from Profusion, and it is the Royals palette, and I had the gold shade in this. If you can see, oh, look at the little bit of pan peeking through. So I thought I really wouldn't enjoy this, and I actually ended up really loving it, which I was really surprised at, because I would never say that I am a fan of gold eyeshadow. Just the looks I was doing, it was just ending up really nice. And this is what you're like, I didn't realise it, but this is quite a squishy formula, so that's kind of why I hit pan. Relatively easy, because I think I only used it maybe 10 times. But because of the formula I use, I have no words today, lads, I'm so sorry. I use one of those felt tip little applicators, so obviously you're kind of really pushing that in, so it kind of digs into the product a bit more maybe than you normally would do, but I needed it to get a good opacity on the eye. But I have to say, what I did find surprise was this shade here. Now in the palette, it looks like nothing. It looks like it's just a little grey kind of eyeshadow or something, but it's actually a duochrome that has, because duochromes never show up on camera really, do they? Maybe you can kind of see it there, but it has like this kind of, oh, it's lovely, a pinky purple shift to it. Sorry, my eyes are weeping now because of this eyeshadow. But a gorgeous kind of pinky purple shift to it, and it was actually a beautiful eyeshadow. So I'm so thrilled that this got rolled in, because I'd really kind of dismissed it in my collection as a kind of a throwaway item that I just picked up for the crack. But I really want to play with this more now, because I've enjoyed any of the looks. I've used the green, haven't used the blue as yet, because I'm not very adventurous when it comes to blues and navies and that. I really like the green in it, and that it's magic, it's called, and it is actually, it is magic. Ended up really enjoying that, so that is rolling out. That's one that's been decluttered and one that I've hit pan on. Next up is my Soph palette. So this is the original Soph by Revolution. And I had the dark chocolate brown in this. And you should be able to see a little glint of pan down the bottom. So this one again, see again now this was a shade that, because it was in this, I haven't touched the corresponding shade in my Shade and Light palette, because I used this on my brows the whole time and actually loved it on my brows. It was really fantastic in my brows, and I'd also use it then with some jawline as a liner. And the odd time I'd use it as a darker shade on the outside of my corners, but predominantly it got used as an eyebrow colour. And like I said, it was a beautiful colour for that. It actually really suited me. I was delighted. It's like a cool toned brown, I suppose. There isn't much warmth in it, and I wouldn't have much warmth in my hair. It's a bit kind of cooler at the moment. Sometimes I do go kind of reddy tones, but at the moment it's not. But yeah, so I've hit pan in that one as well, so I'm delighted. Again, I know it's a small little dinky pan, but I would use my brow brush to do the hairs and the fill out the brows and that. But yeah, so that is another pan. So I'm thrilled that's 2 pans, and one decluttered and one staying in. And then finally we have my Panda palette. So this palette I'm basically every month focusing on one shade that I want to hit pan on. And the shade this month was obviously the first shade in the pan. You saw it there already. It's that kind of creamy yellowy kind of colour, and there's a lovely bit of pan in it there. Can't remember the girl's name now, it was on Instagram, but I had seen Rebecca Morgan do it as well, where they use this sometimes as a powder on the face, maybe under the eyes, or that as a kind of brightening shade, because it has that kind of banana powder kind of look to it. But I'd also obviously use it to set down my brows and that, so that's why it got such use. And in fairness, I mean, I must have used it 21, 22 times since I rolled it in, but I've used it loads before that. I mean, this is a palette that's been in my collection for a few years, and I mean, I really had to focus on it to hit pan. I mean, I'm glad Kat Von D is gone from the brand, because in fairness, her eyeshadows, I really do enjoy them, and they really, they're good quality and they're good value for money. You do get a lot of product in there. So going forward, my next shade in this palette that I'm going to be focusing on is this colour over here. So it's kind of that tan, light brown transition kind of shade that we'd all kind of recognise as a transition shade. And I think if I recall, Rebecca Morgan used that sometimes as a blush as well, so I might give that a whirl as well if I've kind of a more orangey toned look going on. Try and incorporate a little bit as a blush and see. But there's a nice dip in it already. So I'm hoping this month I can hit pan in that, and I'd be delighted because that would be 2 pans hitting this, and we're only into, you know, heading into March, so I'd be thrilled. But yeah, so I've hit my goal in that, and I'm moving on to the next shade. Now I'm under a little bit of time constraint today, so I've actually already done the whole random generator and picked the palettes and picked the shades in them. I use a random generator to pick the palette, and then I use no, that's not right. What's the app that I use? Sorry lads, I'm very bad today, I do apologise. Tiny Decisions app. I use the Tiny Decisions app to pick my palette, and then I use the random generator to pick the number shade. And like I said, I'm not incorporating any shades that will contradict with my Shade and Light palette. So the palette that was chosen for me, and I'm thrilled because this is relatively new to my collection, I only got it before Christmas. This is going to be very reflective, but it is the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde. Now I'm not a huge Huda fan, I won't lie. I just find her business ethics a tiny bit shady. I don't know. I don't love her, and I find her products quite expensive. But I got this half price, and this, of all her palettes that she set out, I've kind of admired them but never been mad for them. This one just, I constantly, every time I saw it, somebody using it or somebody talking about it, I wanted it. I really, really wanted it. So I finally bit the bullet and I got it. So the shade that was chosen for me is this one over here. Now, I don't for a second think this is going to be an easy shade, because it is very much what I would call maybe a topper, and it's very icy. So you probably won't even be able to really see that, can you? It's just this lovely shimmery shade, but it is quite icy, which I wouldn't normally use, and it's quite glittery as well. There's a lot of micro glitter going on there, like it's all over my fingers now, just from rubbing my hands. So I'm not really sure. I suppose inner corner highlight, yeah, and centre of the lid. Now when you do twist it a little bit, there does seem to be a duochrome kind of pinky peachy kind of shift. That'll probably work nice with the one from Kaleidos. Yeah, but yeah, I'm going to put a usage goal on this, and I'm going to say 15. Not as small as 10, because I think that's maybe a bit too easy for me, but not as much as 20, because I just think it's going to be a stretch to hit 20 on it, because it is a very specific type of shade, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? It's not something that you can incorporate in every look that you're going to do. So that is that one from Huda, but I am really excited to get this palette out and play with it, especially coming into, we're in February, so the pinks are lovely, we're heading into Paddy's Day, which means the greens will be nice, and I just think it's a very spring palette, so I'm thrilled that that's after getting pulled in. And then the next one, Steph is going to love the Steph lines. You'll know why I'm so excited to have gotten this one. Now, having said that, again, the shade that I'm after getting is it's going to be a tough one. But it is the Be Perfect Stacey Marie Carnival 3 Love Tahiti palette. And the shade that I got is Tahiti Green. So that is this shade here, if we can focus. So it hasn't been used because this palette, again, got it before Christmas and have barely touched it. I've dipped into the purples a little bit, I've dipped into the greens a tiny bit as well, but haven't really played with this palette yet, so I'm thrilled that it's after getting pulled into this, because it means I get to play. Having said that, there is only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shimmer shades, and the rest are all mattes, and of course I get one of the shimmers. And this is vibrant. This is so, like, this is lime green. I mean, that is just I'm gonna have some fun trying to work that into looks. You can really see actually the shift in the Huda one there when I kind of twist around a bit. So yeah, that is the shade that I'm after getting. And again, look, I'm thrilled that this is after coming in because it's a newer palette to my collection. I've been mad to play with it, and this means not that I needed an excuse or permission, but you know what I mean. It's just because it's in the project. Lads, I am so tired today, and words, I don't know about ye, but I get awful brain fog sometimes, and words just escape me. Like it could be something as simple as the word butter, and it'll be like I was searching Pluto for it. But anyway, so yeah, those are my colours for this month. So we have those ones. Just going to swatch them all for you so you can see them. See, the problem now with this shade is this is the Kat Von D one. Am I missing a shade? Oh, I hit pan on that one. I hit pan on that one. Oh, I'm getting rid of that one. So I should have done 3 shades. Oh, I'm going to do it now. While you're here with me. I totally forgot that, because it was only yesterday that I hit pan on the sofa and I thought that was going to be still in. And I just completely forgot. I didn't use it today, so I didn't even think about it. Oh, 1 second now. We're going to eyeshadow palettes. So this is the Tiny Decisions app with my palettes. Ooh, I'm very excited. Let's see what's going to come up. If you can see. I don't wanna. I've got the Charlotte Tilbury quad. Just 1 second now. I get it out of my drawers. The reason I'm kind of groaning is I'm just not the biggest Charlotte Tilbury fan. I've come to that conclusion. She's not for me. Forget the fact that she's just gone very shady in my eyes, and she keeps, you know, is she cruelty free, is she not, is she selling in China, is she not, all that crack. Just her whole demeanour starting to irritate me, this whole darlings thing, and like, I don't know over in America, but here in Ireland and the UK, her ads are constantly on telly and constantly on YouTube and constantly on Instagram, and it's just, she's wrecking my head. I'm just not able for anymore. Anyway, yes, stop waffling, Ruth. This is what the palette looks like. It is the vintage Vamp palette. This is the colour Story. We have no pan in any of them, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to go into Pretty Random, change it to 4, and randomize. I got never. No. So I got the darkest shade. Of course I did. So I got this shade here. So the way I went was 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll just get it. I see it's so dry. I just don't like it. But look, let's look at the positives here. I had no dark shade in this quad whatsoever, and now I have. So that'll help deepen up the looks. It'll serve as an eyeliner as well. And look, at the palette needs to get some use. I need to get my money's worth, or my husband's money's worth, should I say, because God bless him, he's the one that bought it for me. But yeah, I think actually maybe these 3 shades here will work well with it. Maybe even this one. I don't know. We'll see. We'll play around with it and we'll see. Yeah, just look at the positives. It's a dark shade. I didn't have a dark shade. Other than that, it's such a washed out colour story. So I needed some depth to it. So positives. Positive mental attitude, it'll be fine. So we are going to use that 20 times because it's a usable shade. We're going to use it 20 times, or when we have pan. I don't know if I specified on the green. So these two we're going for 15 times. The Kaleidos and the Shade and Light we're hitting pan. Kaleidos we have another 5 to hit the 20, and the new Charlotte Tilbury is going to be 20. I think Kaleidos and hopefully the Kat Von D, although they are similar shades, so they might contradict each other, but we'll see. I think they will hopefully be, I think the Kaleidos will definitely be rolling out next month, so at least that'll be 1 shade. The others, I'm just not sure, because they're just such specific shades, and it's not like they really go together that well, so I'll either be using the green or the Huda. But look, I'm thrilled to be playing with them. On a side note, question for ye. This is the Fenty Beauty Lip Stunner. Okay, and I don't know whether it's because it's a mini or not, but it has this applicator. on it, right? Which is grand, it's fine. Dinky, you know? And it's fine on the bottom lip, but I'm finding, like, I tried doing it that way and that way, but this part here is just getting in my way to get a sharp line around the edges. I suppose really I need to take a lip brush. It's been years since I used a lip brush, because usually I just slap it on and everything works out fine. I'm just wondering if you have this, do you find that a bit gammy on it, that this yolk here is just kind of obscuring your ease of application? There we go. They were words in a sentence that seemed to work together, didn't they? Curious to know. Let me know in the comments. Do you have this product? Do you find it hard to apply? Am I just being dozy and just not seeming, is it just that I'm tired today and I just cannot get the grasp of it? It's quite possible. I could be using it upside down or something, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about the shade. It's okay, I suppose. I suppose maybe it's more of an autumn shade than this time of year. I got these in the sale just after Christmas, kind of Stephen's Day sale, because I've always wanted to try, and this is my first time trying the formula, and it's actually quite comfortable. It's not that dry at all, I have to say. So I'm kind of impressed with the formula, so I'm curious about other shades, but I'm not loving the ease of application. Does that make sense? Anyway. On that rambly note, I will head off and cook dinner, because somebody needs to be fed in this house. Thank you so much for watching. If you watched to the end, thank you, because yeah, I probably would have clicked off about, what, 20 minutes ago. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. How did you get on this month? Are you doing this video? Are you doing it on Instagram? Are you just doing it yourself at home? Let me know. I'd love to know. What shades have you been loving using? What shades have you been hating using? What shades are you surprised that you actually ended up either loving or hating? You know, you thought you loved them and you're like, no, I don't. Like me with the Bare Nude palette. Or was the shades you're like, like me with the gold, where I thought, I'm barely going to wear this. I ended up really loving it. So let me know down in the comments how you got on this month, because I really truly would love to know. Other than that, I will see you in the next video. Take care. Talk to you soon. Bye. Slán.